Hi there. Welcome to this lesson, guys. My full name is Fernando Fuertes Muñoz. I will be your teacher today, and I know this is your very first English class in this Unit 1, and you are going to start by learning and actually using phrasal verbs. And I just want to start by telling you that some students think or consider that phrasal verbs are pretty difficult. And the idea, I want you to understand this topic not as grammar, they are vocabulary. They are just verbs, okay? The only difference is that they are a compound of two and sometimes three words, okay? And but they have a base, and the base is this. It's a verb. You start with a verb. That's why they are called phrasal verbs. Imagine they are like a phrase. If they are a compound of three words, for example, I'm gonna show you some examples of three words phrasal verbs. And three word phrasal verbs are not that common. Most of them have only two words, the verb or adverb and a preposition. You will always have a preposition in front of the verb. And the difficult thing is that sometimes they look similar, sometimes they have, they make sense because you can relate the meaning of the verb by itself. Hopefully, you know the meaning of this, right? Show, throw, to pass, to look, right? To come, to give, or get. I just selected some of them that I consider like most of you know them already, right? And how just by adding an extra word that is a preposition, the meaning will completely change. And that's why sometimes people find this topic or this part of the language difficult. They consider that it's difficult because, for example, show, show as demostrar, right? Or mostrar. And if you use add off or you use a different like show up, for example, up the preposition or show off, now the meaning is different. Now they have completely different meanings. Show up in this case means that somebody just arrived to a place and it was not expected that that person arrived. So that person suddenly showed up. So you say, I don't know, nobody showed up at the party. That means in Spanish something like nadie se apareció en la fiesta. Nadie llegó. That's show up. Then you have show off. Show off, on the other hand, is when you try to exaggerate your, I don't know, let's say your skills, right? You will try to demonstrate that you are skillful and you are showing off. For example, money. People who have money, they sometimes, not always, they like to show off. They like to demonstrate or sometimes exaggerate that they have money. That is to show off. So remember, here I'm not teaching this vocabulary. I'm just explaining to you the characteristics or phrasal verbs. Like, what is a phrasal verb? A phrasal verb is a verb which is compounded by two words and sometimes 3 words, okay? And they have a basis, and let's say the verb and then the preposition. And the preposition will give at the end the meaning, okay? This little word in here that is the preposition will change the basic meaning of, or the main common meaning of the verb by itself, right? So show, just demostrar, show up, aparecerse, llegar, and show off, presumir, right? So I'm just trying to make it a little bit clearer for you, like you understand what is a phrasal verb, and to understand that you can use it in any tense, in the present, in the past, in the future, for conditionals, for perfect tenses, right? I'm gonna add to this class an extra video, right, where I teach and cover all the tenses, right? This video is for beginners. I just want you to watch it, and after you saw the video, I want you then to practice and, actually that's the idea, put it into practice. There's only one way to learn vocabulary, and this is not by memorizing. Memorizing is good, but for, I don't know, specific rules, grammatical rules. Then when you have time to think, it's okay, because you correct, you write, you type or something, and then you can erase something and rewrite again. It's okay. For writing, it's okay. You have time to think, and you can, try to analyze and correct yourself, and you use your memory. But when you're speaking or when you're listening, you need the vocabulary, and it doesn't work if you just memorize the words. You have to practice them, you have to use them. If you don't use them, your brain will consider that information as useless, right? If your brain detects, if your brain discovers, realizes that it's information that you really need because you use it, then your brain will keep it. But if you don't use it, your brain will just let it go. It's like your password, for example. I think that maybe once in your life you created a password in any social media application or something, and you create a new password, and you swear that you will never forget that word or that password, because you're very confident and say, okay, this is my password, I will remember it. But later, you didn't use it, you keep it you save it in your cell phone or your computer, you never use the information, and once you have the necessity to open your account in a different device, in a different computer, and then the application requires the password, and you just don't remember, and it was like, but it was really important. I swear that I remember, or that I should remember, because it was something that I know, but you forgot. You forgot because your brain discovered and realized that it was not useful information for your brain. So, when you use them, when you practice them, when you write them, when you speak and use these words, your brain will keep them, because the brain is, it's really, really tremendously incredible, because it will detect if the information that you have is useful or useless. If it is useful, it will keep it. Just like the first time that you burned yourself with your finger. Remember the very first time when you touched something that was really, really hot and you burned? So that, my friend, will never be forgotten. You will never forget that thing because it's information, vital information for your life. So this is the same with vocabulary. I want you to see phrasal verbs as extra vocabulary, right? Just as an extra verb. So what is the past? It depends. If it's regular, if it is irregular, you will modify the verb, not the prepositions, the verb. Let's just continue. Throw. Throw up. Do you have any idea about throw up? You know throw, right? Like you throw the ball. But throw up, when you use the preposition up, the meaning of throw completely change, or in certain way changes. Throw up, it means to vomit. You know, when you are drinking a lot, or when you're very sick and you eat a lot, and you feel, you feel heavy, you feel bad, and you sometimes you throw up, and then you feel better, hopefully, right? But throw up, it's to vomit. Pass, well, it depends. You can say pass out or pass away. And again, the same verb to pass, pasar algo, right? To pass the English subject. So, pass out is when very common that you use it, young people use it, when they drink a lot, and suddenly they feel dizzy, they feel drunk, and then they pass out, right? They fall asleep, or I don't know, they just fall over the bed, and that's it. That's a pass out. Pass away, on the other hand, it's to die, right? To pass away is when you buy the farm, when you go to heaven or to the paradise, or maybe if you were a bad person, you go to hell, right? So that's pass away, right? Well, look, there are many. Look at, look for. Look for is very common. I'm looking for my keys. Where are my keys? I cannot find my keys. I need to look for my keys. So, for example, look for. Look at. It's another one. Look after. Okay. After, after, before. Look after. What does it mean? Look after, it's a synonym of take care, which is actually another phrasal verb. Take, tomar o llevar, and care, cuidar. Take care is cuidar. Tomar cuidado, tener cuidado de algo o alguien, right? So, I'm going to be outside for the whole weekend. Could you please look after my dog, right? So, puedes cuidar a mi perro. So that's the idea. Look es mirar. Pero si dices look for, se convierte en buscar. Si digo look after, se convierte en cuidar. Y dependiendo de la preposición que ponga, se va a modificar el significado. Okay? And there's no necessarily a connection. Okay? There's not a connection between, for example, here. Show up, one thing. Show off, a different thing. And it's not related. They are not related, not always. Sometimes they are related, but not always. Most of the times I think they are not. Now, come. Well, there are come on, coming, come up with, right? For example, in this case, I just remember, come up with. This is a three-word phrasal verb, okay? Come up with. It's hard, or not. Come up with is like to have an idea. Like, how did you come up with this great idea? It's like in Spanish, like, ¿cómo se te prendió el foco? ¿Cómo se te ocurrió? Right? That's the idea. Come up with. Um, or like, she came up with this stupid and silly explanation. Es como, y salió con una tonta y estúpida explicación. Right? Or justificación. I'm not pretty sure, like. But that's the idea. That would be like in Spanish, right? Come up with. Come in, come on, come along. There are many. Give. Give away. Give up. For example, here. This actually, up is, I think, one of the most common. Up. If you see, up, 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 up. Okay? So, give up. To surrender. When you say, oh, I give up. I cannot continue. I just surrender, right? And give away, give a hard time. I don't know. Those are just I forgot idioms, right? And then get. I think I consider get like the most flexible and the most common and practical and useful and repetitive phrasal verbs. Okay, you have, I'm just gonna have examples here. Get on, get off, get even. There are many. Get even, get along, get up, get down, get away, get across, get through. I don't know. I'm thinking about movement, right? Prepositions. So you say get on, get even, right? Get even is like desquitarse. Get along with, for example. Get along with is a 3-word phrasal verb. Get along with is llevarse bien con alguien, right? So you can say, I don't get along with my mother-in-law. Because it's very common, that expression, Mexico. I don't get along with my mother-in-law. Mother-in-law, suegra. I don't get along with my mother-in-law. Y no tiene nada que ver. Get es conseguir. Su significado más común es conseguir. Right? Obtener, lograr, alcanzar. Get along with. Llevarse bien con alguien. So if you analyze it, you say, but how? How the heck is get along with quiere decir llevarse bien? No veo la conexión. That's why people think they are difficult. But just, you have to practice it. Put them in sentences. Put them in real situation ideas. Okay? Use it in a sentence. Get along, llevarse bien. Puedo decir, I get along with my teacher of English. Me llevo bien con mi maestro de inglés, for example, right? And well, that's pretty much it. I have a video where I can use 8 different levels, 8 different sentences, and tenses. The simple present, the simple past, the simple future, the conditional, the present perfect, the past perfect, the future perfect, and conditional perfect. I will send you that video, and I want you to have a revision, right? I want you to revise all that basic stuff. That video is for basic students who are like in English 1 or 2, to have a general review of the basic tenses. And then I want you to use these phrasal verbs. I'm going to add as well, I'm going to give you a file, a PDF file, where you will find the phrasal verb, the meaning, and an example. So what I want you to do as homework, and later let you know what or how many different phrasal verbs you have to pick up to select, and then I want you to substitute them in the different levels, in the different tenses. Es decir, si yo digo un ejemplo, escogerás 20 phrasal verbs de la lista y esos phrasal verbs los tendrás que sustituir en los 8 tiempos. Será el mismo ejemplo para cada uno de los paquetes, digamos, llamémoslo paquetes. You have to watch the video first, and then I'm going to give you an example. Les voy a dar un ejemplo, how to do it and how many you have to do, right? And just remember, this is extra vocabulary. This is not related. This is nothing to do with grammar. It is just related to extra vocabulary with some verbs that are more common in English, in natural English, in advanced English. Okay? And you have to know them, because if you don't have vocabulary, you will not understand the message. So that's pretty much it, guys. See you later. Bye bye. Take care.